Hello, everyone. Good morning. It's 11 a.m. Central European time on my screen. We want to keep track of time as well. So I suggest we kick off this webinar. First of all, a big thank you to everyone for joining this info session regarding our toolkit on the fundamentals of financial literacy and more specifically on entrepreneurial skills for youth. This webinar is organized by StreetSmart and by the Khazana Foundation, as both of the organizations worked together on the toolkit. Maybe to start, I want to introduce our speakers for today. My name is Sander Degeling. I'm partnership coordinator here at StreetSmart Mobile School. And I'll be facilitating this session together with Margot Asili from the Khazana Foundation. She's lead volunteer there as well. And together with Anna, she was responsible as well for the development of both the toolkit and the training program, which we will talk more about during this information session. Now, it's really nice to getting to know you as well. Still, there are people joining this webinar, but if you could please share the following information with us in the chat. My colleague Lise is there as well, who is managing the chat box as well. If you could just post your name, your organization, and the country from where you're tuning into, that would be really, really nice. This way, we have a good idea who is joining us for these sessions as well. And if you have any questions throughout the webinar, please don't hesitate to share all the questions with us in the chat. There will be some room for questions or for Q&A at the end of the session. Brings us maybe to the structure of this morning. We'll cover more or less 1 hour with this webinar. First, we'll briefly do an introduction on both of the organizations, on Khazana Foundation and on StreetSmart, to set a little bit the setting in which we developed these tools for youth workers. And then, of course, the main topic of this session will be covered with the presentation of the toolkit, and more specifically on the newest edition on the toolkit on entrepreneurial skills for children and young people, which will take most of the time this morning. And then we'll definitely wrap up in time, so there's enough room as well for you to ask all the questions you might have after this presentation, and we will try to answer them as best as possible. So that's the program for today. And then it's my pleasure as well to hand over the word to my colleague Margot, who will first introduce to you the work of the Khazana Foundation.
Thank you, Sander, and thank you everyone for attending this webinar. So I'm gonna discuss a bit about the Khazana Foundation, our mission, and who we are. So the Khazana Foundation was founded by three female executives, all working in the financial industry, and we are 6 volunteers helping them on a day-to-day to run the different projects of the foundation. I don't know, Sander, if you can maybe click on the next one. I don't have the hand on the slides. Thank you very much. So our main mission is to contribute to financial literacy throughout the world, and we provide financial education and access to financial literacy to youth and to children across the world. We do have different projects running. One of our key projects is based in India, where we have kind of a mini bank concept where we teach children how to manage their money. We teach them financial literacy skills, and we teach them how to save money, what are loans, etc. So this is one of the key projects. You can see the picture of the founders of the Khazana Foundation in India here. Our main challenge, as I mentioned, is financial literacy, is really to empower youth across the world and help them break the circle of poverty by teaching them basic financial skills. We have an approach with 4 main pillars: engage, understand, learn, and apply. We do believe that the first step is engaging in conversation about money. It's really important to talk about money. It's often a topic that is not being discussed. Even in the Netherlands, in France, in Belgium, this is a topic that is very difficult to discuss with children. So the first step is really to engage in conversation about money. The second step is really understanding the impact of finance. We really need the youth to understand what is financial literacy, to understand the concept of financial literacy, to learn. So this is the third step, to learn about financial practices, to be able to apply the knowledge in their daily life. So we've created, and I think Sander will address this, we've created different panels that cover these four pillars. And finally, our solutions. So our solution, I briefly mentioned it, but we have what we call the Children Development Khazana program. The CDK program is the mini bank concept that really teaches you the basic skills, access to saving accounts, loans, how to request a loan, how the banking system works, and really provides the rights and the responsibilities for children around finance. And then we do have one of our key program also is the Khazana X Mobile School program, where we've developed a board together with the mobile school team to be able to disseminate some contents to trainers. So we have the train-the-trainer modules, but also some board games and a discussion game also for children to play. I hope it was brief enough, Sander, but let me know if you need any details.
Brief, but most of all clear, Margot. Thank you very much for this wrap up of the great work that Khazana Foundation is doing, and it brings us seamlessly as well to the work what we do here at Mobile School and why it's such a nice collaboration as well. Where at Mobile School we develop educational tools for young people. In brief, and we have two brands within Mobile School. First one is StreetSmart. With StreetSmart, we develop these non-formal educational tools, which we offer to local organizations and local youth workers all over the world. Apart from this, we also built a brand called Streetwise, and with Streetwise, we bring learnings from the streets directly to companies via leadership trainings, via workshops that we offer to companies. And of course, these companies pay us for these trainings, but 100% of the profits we make through Streetwise are reinvested again in the social projects that we do at StreetSmart, with the objective to empower more organizations and children growing up in vulnerable circumstances. So that's in brief the structure of our organization. What you need to know for now is that mostly we will focus during this webinar on the work that we do at StreetSmart, so the social side of our organization. And as mentioned, we offer non-formal educational tools to organizations and youth workers all over the world. Here you can see a picture that was taken in Querétaro in Mexico. And here you can see one of our methodologies and actions, because we use different methods, different carriers, let's say, to bring our games to young people who need it most. Here you see our StreetSmart flag bag in action. It's our newest methodology that we try to bring to the streets with the objective to reinforce the self-esteem and the talents of children growing up in vulnerable circumstances. But apart from this flag bag, we also have our mobile school, which is maybe our most well-known product. I don't know if there are people in the room who might have seen a mobile school in action already in one of their respective countries. But you see it's a blackboard on wheels you can pull to the streets. And besides this, we also developed different digital tools which also have the objective to reinforce the work that is done by local youth workers all across the globe. Maybe to zoom in a little bit more in detail on some of these tools, the flag bag methodology is really flexible, a mobile tool that we use. You see over here, it's a picture that was taken last week during the setup of another flag bag methodology in Antananarivo, in the capital of Madagascar. It's really a suitcase that we offer to local organizations. And if you open it, you have 50 educational flags in there on 7 different topics. And the cool thing is the topic we're talking about today, financial literacy and entrepreneurial skills, is an integral part as well of the flags that are inside this suitcase. Now, of course, the flags inside this suitcase allow youth workers then to directly bring fun educational games to the streets, to the communities, to learning centers where they are active with their target group. So it's a very flexible, very mobile, lightweight solution that we offer to organizations who are interested in getting to know our methodology. So if there are organizations here in the room that are doing youth work and that are doing educational activities with children and youth, and you are interested in knowing more about this methodology, don't hesitate to let us know. Our doors are always open for future collaborations. Now, and then the next step our partners, they start working with these flags, but they can definitely grow into what we call a proper mobile school project, which is then a blackboard on wheels, which works with a telescopic system, and it can slide open just until you have an educational space of 6 meters of length directly on the streets. As you can see on the pictures were taken in Calcutta in India during the joint launch we did with the Khazana Foundation as well of our financial literacy toolkit last December. You can see it's all blackboard, it's chalkboard, so children can write, can draw on it as well. But on top of this, we have developed 260 educational games which come with this mobile blackboard. So as an educator, you can have a wide variety of educational activities which you can directly play with these children on the streets. Of course, always with the objective to boost the self-esteem of children and youngsters and to allow them to develop their competences and their talents, no matter in which situation they are growing up in. So that's our most well-known tool, I would say, and two different tools we use to bring fun, non-formal education to the streets. So far, as an organization, we have started partnerships, 75 partnerships right now in over 40 countries all across the globe. It started in Latin America, but quickly in the early 2000s, it's moved towards Africa, towards Asia as well. We have a lot of, at this moment, 13 projects as well, working with our methodology in Europe. And we really hope that with the educational flags that we can also reach out to more European organizations or organizations all over the world who can really benefit from these games. And the digital tools, StreetSmart Impact, StreetSmart Play, StreetSmart Learn, they are really there to also allow more educators to have free access to all these kind of games that we offer through these partnerships. So in our partnerships, we offer this together with training, but if you prefer to do it on a self-paced base, you can definitely do so by visiting our digital products, which will also be shared in the chat and are available on our website as well. And this is how this collaboration started, in fact, because we have the extensive knowledge and expertise of the Khazana Foundation on financial literacy. We at StreetSmart have quite some expertise on developing non-formal educational games. So it was like a really good match when the Khazana Foundation approached us as well to work together on this topic. And this is, in fact, how we started working on this toolkit and on these games on financial literacy and on entrepreneurial skills as well. I give the word back to you, Margot, to start the introduction of the toolkit and of the concrete tools we developed together over the past year.
Yeah, maybe the first question to be asked is why financial literacy is important. So we believe that first, it builds health, money habits really early. Children and teenagers, they form habits young. They learn about saving, budgeting, responsible spending. It really helps them avoid poor financial patterns later in their adult life. Second, we do believe it prepares them really well for real life responsibilities. As soon as they enter adulthood, they will face, for some of them, bank accounts. Everyone will face bills. Some of them will even face student loans. Will need to pay with digital money, credit cards, taxes. So all these different financial literacy concepts and financial literacy teaching will give them the tools to navigate these without feeling overwhelmed. Third, I would say it really helps them improve their decision-making skills. So youth who understand money can compare before buying. They plan longer term. They can assess the risk. They can set themselves financial goals. So these skills spill over really into other areas like career choices and life planning. Fourth, I would say it's super important because it reduces future debt and financial stress. A financially informed young adult is less likely to get into high interest debt, is more likely to save, is more likely to invest wisely, and this leads to greater financial stability and well-being. Fifth, I would say it really boosts confidence and independence. Understanding finances empowers youth. They feel more in control of their lives and more capable of making major decisions like pursuing education, moving out, or starting a business. Six, I will say it supports economic equality. So, not all families teach money skills. School or community financial education help level the playing field for low income students, first generation learners, youth without financial role models. It really gives everyone a fair chance at financial success. And lastly, I would say it really encourages long-term thinking. Teenagers often think short term and youth often think short term. Financial literacy really introduced them the concept like retirement planning, investing, emergency funds. And these are key concepts that we will see in the new board that we've developed together with the mobile school. Don't know, Sandra, if you have anything to add to the why, or should we move on?
No, I don't think so, but it stresses once again, and it's really clear from your explanation as well, Margot, that every individual is confronted with this topic as well, and that was why it was super interesting for us at StreetSmart because we work on a global level, like the Khazana Foundation, to work on this topic as well. Because in every country, every continent, there's still really a lot of work to do to raise awareness on this topic with children and young people, and we want to make it as accessible as possible in our partnerships and in our educational offer as well, which was then a great opportunity to work on this topic together. So I think everybody can be convinced of the why, and from our personal experience, we can all say that it's super important to build that knowledge as early as possible in life as well as we can. So that made us start as well this collaboration. It started, in fact, already in 2023 when we developed the first boards really focused on financial literacy. The first one we developed together is Money Matters. And on Money Matters, it focuses on the 5 key pillars of financial literacy. You can see them there at the bottom of the panel, where you can see the 5 pillars, and it's about earning money, spending money, saving money, investing money, and last but not least, protecting the money you have. So it builds on these 5 pillars, but on the panel, you can then see over 50 situations as well where children, young people, or adults are dealing with money as well. So it's a great panel as well as a kind of an introduction for children and young people as well. Like, okay, what are different possibilities, for example, to earn money, and what are the advantages or maybe the disadvantages of earning money in this specific way. Of course, as you go along, you can do this for all the 5 pillars, and maybe even if you want to do it a little bit more advanced, you can find an activity on StreetSmart Play as well, which allows you to do like a kind of a basic budgeting exercise with the help of these 5 key pillars and with the help of this Money Matters poster. So this is like the first panel we created together back in 2023. It is the introduction, but then we also wanted to really give children the opportunity to apply these learnings as well more concretely, based as well on the model Margot explained from the Khazana Foundation, that it's not enough to start conversations, but it's also really important to apply these skills. And that's why we created our second panel together. You can see the same colors coming back from the Money Matters posters on the 5 key pillars, but here children and young people really run through 1 month, and they need to make decisions on how they are going to spend their money throughout 1 month. So throughout the game, you roll with the dice, you move along the month as well. And of course, as you go along the board, you will have the opportunity to earn some money, but you also need to do some spending. You need to think strategically about saving, about investments as well. And then at the end of the month, you end with a specific amount of money, which you can then start a reflection on with the group of children you played with, like what worked well throughout the game, where there may be other things you would have done differently if you would play a second month as well. So here it becomes really more tangible, more concrete, that we try to put the 5 pillars into practice. And of course, what we always try to do in our collaborations as well, because the games are only as strong as the facilitation is. So that's why we also offer to youth workers a training program where they can still boost their competences and learn more about a specific topic. So in 2023, we focused there on an introduction to financial literacy for youth. If you're a youth worker and you're working with young people, that you're well prepared to do these kind of conversations as well, and that you're also very familiar with the different boards that are part of this toolkit. But then we realized as well that still something was missing, because of course the first reactions we got on those 2 panels were really positive. We deployed them in many different organizations across the world, but we also got the feedback as well that, okay, yeah, you can know about the 5 pillars, But what if you want to start up a business or a project yourself? What if you want to take some initiative yourself? And that was still like a kind of a topic that was missing in our educational offer. At the same time, we knew that there was still a lot of expertise within the Khazana Foundation on this topic too. So that made us decide after this first collaboration in 2023 to start another project, which was then more focused on entrepreneurial skills and how to train these skills to children and young people. Not only because all children want to start a business themselves, but also because entrepreneurial skills are really keen in daily life as well, and they can teach you a lot about creativity, making decisions, taking initiative. So we thought, this is also a topic that is definitely relevant for a large target group across the globe in many projects we collaborate with. So this is how this new collaboration started, and which brought us to a new game, which we want to introduce you today, and which is called Business Builder. So I give it to you, Margot, to maybe briefly explain the main concept, and then we can go over the different stages of the game together.
Yeah, so in this entrepreneurial skills board, you will see two different games, what we call the inner circle game and the outer circle game. In the inner circle game, the idea is really to have the three different phases, so the blue, the yellow, and the green, this startup, the setup phase, sorry, the survival phase, and the growth phase. And these three phases basically describe the life of a business. We will start by the blue phase, the setup phase. If we discuss in the inner circle and the outer circle, the idea is pretty much the same. You have three building blocks: the business idea, the start money, and then get ready. In the business idea, in the inner circle, you develop your juice stand. So you need to choose what will be the fruit of your juice stand. In the outer circle, you need to think about a business. This is more for, we would say, older kids that do want to develop their own business and do want to already think about how to create their own business. So in the business idea phase, we ask them who will be the target group of their business, what would be the key idea, are there any competitors already in the market, to start really think about their business idea. Then the second step is about the start money. If you take the inner circle game, you roll the die and then you end up with an amount of money. So it's basically luck that gives you more or less money. On the outer circle, the youth need really to think about where the money will come from. Will the money come from a friend, from a family member, from the bank? How much money do I need? Do I need to mix potentially from friend, family, and the bank? Do I have enough money myself in my piggy bank to start up my business? And then in the third phase, we have the get ready phase. In the inner circle part, you do have certain items where you need to choose if you want to have some ice cube, for example. If you want to diversify and buy more fruits, do you want cups? So do you want recyclable cups, plastic cups? And you can have also the discussion with the children around sustainability, plastic vs recyclable. And in the outer circle, here you really need to think more about what will be the end price of your product. So basically defining if you want to have a juice stand, how much will your juice cost? So this is a quick intro on the blue phase. On the setup phase, I'll give the floor to Sander to introduce you the survival and growth phases.
Thank you, Margot. So you see, now you're ready to go into business, to start selling. Your juice stand is ready for your first sales, which will also give you some money. As we go to the next phase, which is a survival phase, and there the first part is about good or bad luck. I think everybody here who has already started a project or a business himself know that you're sometimes depending on good luck or bad luck when starting a business. So once again, you roll the die over there, and then you can see that you're confronted with things that positively impact your business. For example, when it's warm weather, you might be able to sell a bit more juices or not. However, when it's rainy, it might get a bit trickier as well to do your sales. So there, children and young people really learn in a very accessible way what is good luck or bad luck. And in the outer circle is the same with the product or with the project that you have in mind. What are the risks you can be confronted with along the way? Because there might be many, even if you just started your business. So it allows children and young people to reflect on that aspect. Now then, if we move to 5, you see there that's about invest. What would be at this point like a good investment to make for your in the inner circle for your juice stand, but in the outer circle as well for your project or for your own business you are thinking of. And there, it's really important for young people to say like, okay, investments can be at times they can be very expensive. In the inner circle, you will be also confronted with the budget that you have at this moment. Maybe you don't have enough cash in hand to make all the investments you would like, but it allows young people as well to reflect like, okay, what can really take my business to the next level, and what are investments that are really important to make to grow towards that next level. On the outer circle, we do that same exercise as well, but a bit more in general, to think about what can really boost the work of my business or of my project in terms of investment. And then number 6, profit and loss. There it's about like, okay, you made your investment, but was this a smart investment as well? Does it really pay off, or did you invest maybe a lot of money without a really big return for your business? So in the inner circle, of course, we roll a die, and it depends a little bit on luck, but it's also to really initiate or to introduce these basic concepts of entrepreneurial skills and of business towards young people. So you will see over there, if you're, for example, very lucky and you roll a 6 with your die, then you get 3 times the amount you invested, and you will have a lot more cash in hand than you had before. But you can be unlucky there as well if you roll, for example, a 1, a 2, a 3. But it allows to check a little bit if your investment was successful or not. And in the outer circle is the same. Like, what does you really make stand out from the crowd, from competitors as well in the market if you invest in certain things, and how do these investment pay off? So you see 3 squares once again per face. And then to end the face, we just added there the character under the umbrella. It's also just to make sure that children and young people are aware that, of course, you can make a decision to work 7 days a week with long hours, but don't forget as well to take some rest, to take good care of yourself when you're an entrepreneur, when you're starting a business, because it's necessary as well to keep going as well. Before we then go through the third phase, the growth phase, I'll give it to you, Margot, maybe to start with it as the last phase of the business builders game.
So the growth phase, we have the square on market demand. So obviously it's very important to understand in your business how many people will attend basically your juice stand. So if we're talking about the inner circle, you gathered some stars throughout the game on the blue phase, on the yellow phase. So we mentioned that yes, you will earn some money throughout the game, but you also collected some stars based on the decision that you took. And based on the numbers of stars that you had, you will earn more or less money on this market demand step. On the outer circle, here the idea is really to help the youth understand for the business, will there be a necessity to use the social media, for example? What type of marketing will need to be used? Is there any type of marketing that needs to be used? Will your friends help you spread the word? So how will you communicate to reach a bigger target audience? On the square number 8, this is the business evaluation. So here in the inner circle, it's time to understand who earned the most money throughout the game and who collected the most of the stars. So it's not a competition, it's just a reflection of the game, of where do you stand. In the outer circle, in the business evaluation, this is the time to understand what were the main opportunities you had throughout the game, what were the biggest strengths of your business, what are the biggest weaknesses. maybe there were some decision that you could took differently, maybe the consequences of your choices. So here it's really a reflection of the blue and the yellow faces. And then you have the square 9, which is the future. In the inner circle, you have here the option or to partner with someone of the game, or to keep your stand. You also have the option to buy a new stand. So what do you want to do next with your business? And in the outer circle, it's a bit the same idea. So you have the 333 small icon here. Basically, is to understand where would you be in 3 weeks, 3 months, 3 years. What are your longer term plans? What are your plans for the near future, medium future, and long term future? And that's the end of the game.
Yeah, and maybe one more thing why we chose this circular design as well. Like Margot mentioned, there you're at the end of the game. You have successfully set up and run your business for a while. But of course, if you play it with children and young people and they're eager to continue, you can definitely play another round if you want as well, another round of the inner circle, or move from the inner circle to the outer circle. That really depends, of course, on the target group you're working in. But it's a possibility because, of course, along while playing the game, you will acquire a lot of different skills. And you will have very valuable reflections with peers, but also with the youth worker. So maybe if you play the game a second time, inner or outer circle, the game will be totally different, or it will trigger ideas that you can then implement into the game the second time. So that's why we chose the circular design as well. If you want, you can of course keep on playing with the target group, but all of this depends on who you're playing with, the time you have available, and also of course the energy that is still there in the group. But it's like we try to make it as accessible as possible for different ages. But this way, we try to bring these entrepreneurial skills and entrepreneurial learning to young people. So that's our business builders game. If you still have any questions on this more in detail, let us know in the chat. We're more than willing to answer them at the end of the session. And I will also refer to next week when we will still do like an interactive game hour where we really play the game in smaller groups ourselves. So if you say, "Wow, this is really nice," but for me it's not totally clear yet how I can implement this or how I can play this with my target group, we'll give you all the information about the game hour at the end of this session. Now, we already stressed that, of course, these visuals and these graphics can really help youth workers and young and street workers, for example, to bring these learnings to their target group. But it's important as well that they too have enough information and explanation on the topic as well. That's why for this part of the toolkit, we also invested in another training program which is freely accessible on StreetSmart Learn, which helps to introduce entrepreneurial skills to youth workers and to equip them as well with the knowledge that they need. In this program, you will have a theoretical foundation on entrepreneurial learning. And in the second part, you will then have a step-by-step guidance how you can use the poster with concrete exercises. And the big advantage, we know youth workers are really busy all the time. It's all self-paced, so there is no deadlines, no real pressure as well for you to complete the program. So you can all do this whenever you have some time or while you are preparing the activity together with your colleagues for your target group. Just some screens to show you how it looks like, because this too, of course, here the target group is really the youth workers themselves, but we try to make it as accessible as possible. So you will see that there are some videos included as well, where my colleague Lies in this video, for example, explains some basic concepts or explains the different stages we're talking about throughout the game. You will also see, for example, details or some situations that you will see on the panel where you can have some reflections on as well. You can zoom into certain situations as well. Very interactive as well, so you can explore the game yourself. They're interactive fill-in exercises as well, which really boost your own knowledge as well, and which makes it fun and accessible to do this program and to have this learning. And then there's an interactive PDF as well, which we will share with you as well on the entrepreneurial journey that you can go. So at the end, we will share this with you so that you can already have a look, and we hope it's a good trigger or like a teaser for you as well learn more and to maybe visit StreetSmart Learn in the near future and browse through this learning program, which complements the work we did on the development of the educational games. So, to sum up and to wrap up a little bit, the toolkit is now a lot larger, and we're super happy to share this with you. Because apart from Money Matters and Payday Pioneers, we're now proud as well to have this Business Builders game as well in our educational offer. And then together with these two training programs, we hope that it can really inspire youth workers to at least start these conversations, these crucial conversations, like we mentioned, with their target group. Now, maybe the most before we go to the next question, I still want to share with you that we've been disseminating, we've been spreading these tools already in our networks. In December, we were in Calcutta for an Asian lounge as well, with the majority of the StreetSmart partners that are working over there. The coordinators learned everything there is to know about the different games on financial literacy and entrepreneurial skills, and they then, back in their home projects in their home countries, they delivered more training to the local teams as well, and immediately started putting it into practice with their young people. So on the right, you can see one of our partners from Kathmandu, Nepal. They're called SatSat, a great organization as well, where the coordinator Dikesh is also already playing this game together with the children over there, with very positive feedback as well. There, it's really cool. You see that they even have like money in their hand as well. So to make it as real life as possible and to make it as practical as possible, they're playing the game there with printed money themselves, and they immediately put it into practice. And last week as well, like I told you already a little bit about the StreetSmart flag bags, as it's part of our offer there too. During the youth worker training, we try to play around of the game already, and the youth workers in Antananarivo were also super positive because they work with a lot of children and youth who are working on the streets. So they're entrepreneurs themselves. They work on the streets. They earn their money as well. They need to make decisions on where to spend their money. So there too, we got really positive feedback from them as well. But since we're constantly looking to improve our games and our educational offer, if you would try out the game yourself after this session, for example, please don't hesitate to reach out to us at any time. If you have any feedback or any examples, for example, of how you put this into practice, definitely let us know. Because you can use one flag, you can use all the 3 flags, you can really build like a more structured curriculum. You can use it directly in the community. You can use it maybe in your learning centers. I even heard already examples of people who are using it into a more formal educational setting. If you want to do an interactive activity with children there about money, about entrepreneurial skills. So there are really so much different possibilities for this game. So if you have an innovative approach, or if you have put this into practice after this session, definitely let us know. We love to hear from you as well, how you can put this into practice. And that brings me to the next question, and a very important question as well. Where can you find all these materials? Because it's nice to see them here on the screen, but of course you need to have access to them yourself as well if you want to start using them. And as mentioned, all of the materials are available for free online, because we believe that if we offer them like this, they can have the most social impact possible. If you want to consult all the materials, my colleague Lise will share them in the chat, or has already shared them with you in the chat. I can't really see it at the moment, but on our website, you can easily consult the toolkit page, and there you can have access to both the educational games, the different posters, which you can download online for free in high quality PDF files, so you can print them yourself locally. And you will there also find the direct links to our online learning platform, StreetSmart Learn. So there you have the 2 tabs, the educational posters. You will find Money Matters there. You can find Payday Pioneers and Business Builders there. Also with a manual, with a video manual, which explains you once again the game. And then, of course, the links to the Street Educator training. You see over here they are. You can just browse this page as well. They're also available, that's maybe nice to know as well, in different languages. In English, in Spanish, in French, soon in Dutch as well. So we also try to offer these materials in different languages to partner organizations. So depending on where you are located, where you work with children and young people, you will have access to the materials. As mentioned, a little bit of promotion maybe for the session of next week. If you're still interested in really playing the game in smaller groups, I would warmly invite you to our game hour that we organize together with our friends of the Khazana Foundation, which will take place at Friday, 27th of February. Also at 11 a.m. Central European time, if I'm not mistaken. There are still some spaces left. We will have a bit of a smaller group as well to ensure the interactivity of the session. But if you're still eager to join that session, or if you say like, I do have some colleagues who will find this really interested, definitely you will find all the information on the Khazana Foundation social media, on StreetSmart social media, where you can still find the link to subscribe for the session. So a warm welcome to everybody who's interested. And Lise, my colleague, will also share a special gift for you in the chat as well, which is the Entrepreneurial Journey Notebook. It's a part of the online training program as well, and which allows you to discover and reflect and grow your entrepreneurial mindset. We will share it with you via the chat because it can be like kind of a teaser as well, which hopefully will bring you to our StreetSmart Learn platform to at least have a look at the content there of the learning program on entrepreneurial skills. Margot, just checking with you if you still have anything you want to share with our participants before we open the floor for questions.
No, maybe as I mentioned in the chat, if you have also any ideas, any needs on financial literacy, please let us know. We're very open for feedback and open for new ideas.
Super.
So maybe for the questions on it, I received some questions in the chat. The first question I received was in general about the street smart tools and the flags and in which languages they are available.
Yeah, so in general, the Street Smart flags and the flag bags we offer so far, we have them in French, in Spanish, in English, and that's it for now, I think, because we recently started this. Now, most of the flags, they don't contain any language at the moment. There are some flags that we think 4 out of 50 flags need a bit of translation. If it's a specific wish of a project, there's definitely the possibility to translate them into local language. But so far, we implemented them in North Macedonia and Skopje, in Potosi in Bolivia, and now in Antananarivo in Madagascar. So it depends a little bit from where the application for a flag bag comes from, if we do that translation. But they're right now available in the main languages, let's say. And if we need to customize, we can always enter or go into discussion with the local partner project to see what the local needs are.
A second question was if we would share the links and the recording of this webinar afterwards. So maybe you can go into detail about it.
Yeah, absolutely. There will be a wrap-up email which will be sent to you, also together with all the links we discussed. Also with the possibility, I think, to have a certificate with the evaluation form once again. So this will be sent after the webinar as well to you, and there will be a link to the recording. We will also publish this on our open YouTube channel so that if you have colleagues who might be interested in this, they can still watch this later on via our YouTube channel.
And the final question I received, but you answered already a bit, the business builders poster and the training, in which languages are they available? And let me see if I'm complete. Yes, that was it. It was the question from Giovanna from Vienna.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, super. So yeah, for now, like mentioned, it's English, Spanish were the first ones. Soon we will have French available too, and then Dutch. Of course, for the game itself, the manual, if you say like I work in a specific country and I want to translate it, You can download the manual form as well, and then maybe ask somebody, or even these days with the help of a translator or with some AI to translate it into your local language. Because you see on the visuals, on the graphics, there's really not a lot of text on there. It's a conscious decision from us as well to not spend too much time on these translations. But if you download the manual yourself and you want to still translate it into another language because it's important for your local educators, feel free to do so.
That was the final question. I don't know if there are, someone is asking the YouTube channel. I will share the link in chat. And I don't think there are any more questions that were left untouched at this point. So then I think we can continue unless there are more questions.
If there's anybody still who has a question for maybe for the Khazana Foundation as well, for Margot, or for us at StreetSmart about these specific tools of entrepreneurial skills, or more in general, feel free to post it still in the chat. We're still here. Of course, at StreetSmart and also with our friends of the Khazana Foundation, we're constantly looking to improve our educational offer, which includes this webinar. So if you enjoyed this webinar, if you still have suggestions for us how we can improve this, there's a QR code which you can scan over here, where you can briefly fill in a short survey about if you like this webinar or not, and what we can still do to improve this in the future. So you would really help us if you would take 2-3 minutes to fill this in and to give your feedback to the session of today. And if if you need more info, or if you're still eager to connect, you can find here our contact addresses: info@streetsmart.be or khazanafoundation@gmail.com. As mentioned, we love to hear from you. Also, if you would test the game yourself, so please don't hesitate to reach out after this webinar, and we'll definitely keep you posted on any updates or any new developments we might do in the future. Still any questions apart from this, Lise, so far?
There was one question about the certificates of attendance. Maybe I can quickly mention this, that to receive this one, it's necessary to complete the feedback form, as we then have your complete name, email address, and so on to send it to you. So please complete the webinar evaluation. It's available through this QR code, or via the link in chat, or in the wrap-up email that you will receive today about the webinar as well. Thank you. That was it.
Cool. Thank you very much, Lise, for facilitating the chat and for having the questions. And Margot, can I then still warmly thank you as well, first of all, for the nice webinar we had today, for being present and for explaining our entrepreneurial skills toolkit to our participants, and more in general for the nice collaborations that we have. Don't know if you still have anything to share with our participants today.
No, thank you, Sander. Thank you, Lise, for the organization of this webinar. I think it was a great one, and thank you everyone for attending. Again, any question, we're here to help.
Cool. Thank you very much, Margot. We're 10 minutes early, but I think everybody has enough work on the table as well. So it was quite efficient today. And if there are still other questions, definitely let us know. Drop us an email, and we'll be more than happy to respond. Thank you very much for joining us this morning, and we're looking